You know, the 80-20 rule is a really popular one in kind of ancestral health, where you're eating 80% of the time, you're eating really clean, kind of on plan to whatever your definition of that looks like, and 20% of the time you get to indulge. What's wrong with the idea of 80-20 with gluten if you are gluten sensitive?
Well, I am gluten sensitive, and I can't have gluten. A little bit, like my face will flare up bright red. I can't wake up in the morning. Sometimes I'll feel drunk, or I'll actually get really bad headaches on one side of my head. And I had them chronically since I was in high school. Took a lot of Tylenol and had no idea that it was gluten the entire time. So it's my understanding, especially from, learning from doctors like Dr. Myers and everyone else here, that, every time you ingest gluten, all of a sudden your immune system is flared back up. So that's why you can't just take it out and go, oh, well, I can have it once in a while. It's not once in a while. That's not how food sensitivities generally work. It's different than a food allergy where, a child might outgrow it. But, there's a lot that can be done in healing the gut that can help things, but I can't go back to gluten. Gluten I had to break up.
Dr. Myers, would you like to add to that?
Yeah,
Yes, please.
On the edge trying to jump in here. So if you can take one thing home from this whole symposium, it's going to be that if you have a gluten sensitivity, every time you eat gluten, the theory is that your antibodies are going to jump up for up to 3 months. So that means that you get a chance to eat gluten at Easter, at Christmas, at the 4th of July, and on your birthday, and you've never given your immune system a break. So if you're somebody here just, to have a better physique and that's why you're doing paleo, indulge in your gluten every once in a while if you want. I would never recommend it. But if you're here actually for a chronic illness, particularly autoimmunity, you don't ever get to eat it, because every time you do, you cannot feel when your antibodies are elevated. Anybody here with Hashimoto's? Can you tell when your antibodies are elevated? Okay, one person said they could, but most people can't. So that's just one take-home point. If you can get anything from this whole symposium, you do not get the 80-20 rule when you're sick and you have a gluten sensitivity.
All right, somebody tweet that. That's a fantastic point.